Alrighty, so in this video, right, I'm gonna show you how to make a 10 out of 10 top class Amazon listing. This is gonna help you get way more sales, and it's also gonna help you guarantee, or almost guarantee, that if you launch a product, you're gonna be successful. Because the truth is, if you wanna crush it with Amazon FBA in 2024, then you've gotta have the best listing in your niche. You really don't wanna accept anything less than that. So I'm gonna break down how you do that, right, step by step. So I'm gonna be covering everything from your hero image, your main listing images, your copy, your SEO, your keywords, product videos, A+ content, the whole shebang. And the reason that I'm qualified to do this is because we're actually launching successful products right now. So if you check this out here, right, this is a screenshot from our results from the last product we launched about 6 weeks ago. So you can see that in 30 days, our profit margin is about 50%. And honestly, this product is not that much different than other products in the same niche. We've just done top class listings, and that's one of the ways that we really stand out. And it's been one of the keys to our success with building our brand to 7 figures annually. All right, so let's start with probably the most important part of your Amazon listing, right? Your hero image. So don't ask me why it's called a hero image, it just is. So this is the first image on your listing, right? And it's the image that makes people decide whether or not they're gonna click on your listing versus one of the competitors. So if nobody clicks your hero image, then nobody buys your product. So you need to absolutely nail it. Now the first thing, right, that I want you to hammer into your head, when everyone else zigs, you're gonna zag. All right, what the does that actually mean? So what I'm saying is, don't fall into the same trap that a lot of Amazon FBA beginners do. Don't copy what everyone else is doing. So your hero image should absolutely pop off the page. It should look so different to everybody else in your niche, and it should be absolutely unique. So basically, let all your competition do the same thing. Let all of them use the same style of hero image, and make sure that you do something different. So this is where the design and the branding of your product packaging is key. So take a brand like Zesty Paws, right? They've got super distinct orange branding, and their product packaging, it just instantly pops off the page, and it just really stands out against all of the other pet supplements in the space. And another great example of this, right, is a brand in the UK called Beast Bags. So they've taken boring bin bags and they've made it interesting by just doing some pretty crazy product packaging. It's the same product underneath, but they've just done it with a twist. And you can see how much it stands out on the Amazon search results page. So before you decide what your brand is going to be called and how to do your visual branding, what everything is going to look like, you need to make sure that you're doing proper competitor research. So you've got to look at the top 15 to 20 products and brands in your niche. What do their products and their hero images, what do they look like? Because you need to do something different. And one of the brands, right, that I really like that does this really well is a brand called Cking. So these guys are doing really well in one of the most competitive niches on Amazon. So one of their top selling products is one of these milk frothers, right? But if you search them and you take a look at all their products, because they've got a lot of them, what they do with their hero images is really interesting. They kind of bend the rules of what you're supposed to put in there, but somehow they manage to get away with it. But there's a lot of lessons to be learned from how they do it. So you can see that they use these like sort of crazy red bowls, you know, they put coffee beans in there, you know, they use these like splashes of milk. And then the other really interesting thing that I think they do really well is they print on the actual side of the box keywords like this, right? So like lifetime warranty. Now again, I actually think this is outside of Amazon's terms and conditions, but honestly, what you should do when you're making your hero image is push the terms and conditions as much as you can, because you can try and get away with this stuff, because the worst thing that happens is Amazon just rejects it and you can't use that image. But Cking, they do such an amazing job of this because they understand the importance of having a hero image that really, really stands out. So you can see on most of their products, they do stuff like this, right? So with this like silicone product, silicone utensil rest, they actually put the keyword in the title here, and then whenever they can, they put lifetime warranty. Because if you're browsing around, right, and you see a bunch of these, and then one of them catches your eye because it says lifetime warranty, there's a chance that you're probably going to click on that over one of the others. And that's just a massive, massive advantage in a competitive niche like this. And then another good example of good hero images being used is in the supplement space. So what people do in the supplement space is stuff like this, right? So if I'm searching for joint supplements because I've got some achy joints, if I see this here, right, and it's got the keyword joint support on there or joint health, that immediately stands out to me. It stands out to me more than something like this, right? Glucosamine, whatever. I don't really know what that is. I mean, obviously, if I'm searching for that as a keyword, which a lot of people probably are, then that's going to stand out as well. But the point of all of this is just make sure when you're doing your hero image, you're really understanding that you've got to stand out versus your competition, and you can really do as much as you possibly can, like Zule Kitchen do, to really push the boundaries of what you can do within the terms and conditions. So try and add stuff like this, these little lemons down here, these little tags are a great way to do it. And this is really where your product packaging is so unbelievably important. Because I guarantee when you actually order one of these, it won't come with lifetime warranty on the box. So what you can do is you can design your product packaging in a different way when people actually receive the product, because nobody orders this and then sees it and says, oh, it doesn't say lifetime warranty on the side of the box. Customers don't remember. So you can actually cheat a little bit and actually adapt your product packaging specifically to stand out on the Amazon listings, on the Amazon search results page. But then in reality, when the customer receives it, it might be slightly different, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, so next up, right, after you've done your hero image, you've got to look at making top class main listing images. It's taken me about 7 takes to say that because for some reason it doesn't roll off the tongue very easily for me. So technically, right, you can have up to 9 images on your listing, and that includes your hero image. And you want to make sure that these are absolutely chef's kiss top class. So remember, right, that most people these days, they're browsing on their mobile phone and they're browsing quickly. So the first thing that you need to remember is less equals more. Keep it simple, stupid. Sorry, I'm not calling you stupid, but it's a great way to remember it. So don't try and overload every image with text and arrows and graphics and all sorts of random stuff. Try and keep each single image on your listing as clean and as clear as possible. But before you start designing any of your listing images, you've got to have a very clear list of your most important product benefits and product features. And in order to really know what the key benefits and features are, you need to know as much as you can about your target customer. You need to know what questions they're going to have when they're browsing for your product. And you need to know how can you answer those questions as quickly as possible. So will they want to know about the size of the product, how long they can use it for, what it's compatible with, what it's made from, how much it weighs? Every customer basically needs to have a bunch of key questions answered, right, before they trust you enough to actually go on and buy your product. And it's your job, right, to understand what those key questions are, and then everything on your listing is built around them. So to break it down super easily, right, the way that we do it is we split this into 2 different parts. We have one key list of features, and then we have one key list of benefits. And a brand that does this really, really well is a massive brand called Anker. So they sell these power bank battery packs, right? You use them to charge up your mobile phone. And if you look at how they combine both features and benefits together, they do it in a super clear, really clever way. So every time, right, that they mention a feature, they automatically couple that feature with a benefit. So for example, the power bank is a 20,000 mAh, whatever the hell that means, right? That's a feature of that product. But the benefit of that feature is that you get days of uninterrupted power, or you get the ability, right, to charge an iPhone 14 4 times. So what you're doing is you're taking like a technical feature and then you're coupling it with a benefit that the customer is going to resonate with and just going to really understand in a very simple way. And then they talk about the built-in USB-C cable, which makes charging super, super easy. So if you notice, right, their images are not cram-packed with 20 text bubbles and tons of badges and tons of copy and text and random stuff everywhere. They keep things super clear, super clean, and super concise. So when you're designing your perfect listing, what you need to do is you need to make a list of your top features. These could be the technical features or the technical things related to the product. And then what you need to do is you need to couple each one of those features with its specific benefit, the benefit that the customer gets from those features. And then you need to order them by importance, right? Which is the most useful to the customer. And then when you know that, when you know which are the most useful to the customer, you need to lead and start with the most important features and benefits first. So put those things in the second image. And then as you go through the listing images, go through the different features and the different benefits. You want to put the most important stuff early, because most customers, they probably don't look at all of your listing images. They might not even make it down to the bottom to your A+ content. So whatever the best selling points of your listing are and your product, make sure you put that early. And also make sure that you're not repeating the same thing over and over. I see it so many times on beginners listings, is they have 5 or 6 images and they basically say the same thing in each one. You need to give a different benefit and a different feature in each image so it tells a story about your product. And when you're doing all of this, right, when you're getting these images made, make sure they're done by proper professional photographers and then they're designed by professional graphic designers. Don't make the mistake of trying to do this all by yourself to try and cut costs. So give yourself a proper budget to hire professionals so that you get a professional looking listing. If you're looking for product photography, there's companies like Sooner that can do a great job at a pretty good price. And then you can find great graphic designers for also decent prices on sites like Upwork or 99 Designs. But please, 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 just make sure that when you're doing your budgeting, make sure you set aside enough money for your branding and your listing design. It's super, super important, and it can honestly be the difference between a product being a flop and a product being a success. Now, next up, we've got something that I believe is absolutely essential in every single top class listing. That's your product videos. Now, in order to get a video on your listing, you need to have brand registry. And to get that, basically, you need to have applied for a trademark for your brand. But one misconception here, right, is that you need to have an approved trademark. You don't actually need that. All you need to do is apply for the actual trademark, and then you show Amazon that the application is in process and they will grant you brand registry. So you can do this in a matter of days. And this means basically, right, that you can get A+ content on your listing and you can add product videos. And the way that we love to do product videos these days is we use what's called a UGC style. So we hire influencers or content creators to make videos for us. So there's some great sites out there that you can do this super easily and for around $100, which I think is pretty damn good. So we use a site called Billow and we pay usually about $200 for 2 videos. It's super easy to do, right? All you do is you upload all of the details of your product and then influencers will apply to make the video. So when they apply, you check out their profile, you make sure that they're a good fit, and they go on to make the video. So for example, if you're selling a baby product, you can find a new mum influencer to do a 45-second video using your product. All you've got to do is write a detailed brief of exactly what it is that you want them to say. Now, if you want to do this with Billow like we do, we've got a discount code in the video description. We don't recommend anything on this channel that we don't use ourselves, but we've used this probably 7 or 8 times now. It's a great service and the price is pretty damn good. But the main thing that you need to remember here when you're doing your product videos is the same thing as the rest of the things you need to remember for everything else, right? Is keep it simple and focus on the key benefits and the key features for your product. And then also when you start the video, make sure that you're starting with the most important stuff, because as you know yourself, people don't watch everything. If people load up a 1-minute video, maybe they on average only watch 20 seconds. So you don't want to put all the important stuff at the back end of the video. Make sure you lead with the strongest benefits that are going to help the customer make a decision. And also try and keep it nice and light and informal, right? Don't try and cram too much information, and also make sure that the influencer actually hits every single key point. So one of the main mistakes that we've made in the past is we've not really given the influencer a super detailed brief and we've not really outlined all of the points that we want them to hit. And what ends up happening is they record the video and they miss out a bunch of key benefits. So to avoid that, make sure you give them a super detailed brief and make sure you tell them these are the key points that I want you to hit. And if you don't hit them, you've got to re-record the video. And the benefit also of making these types of videos with UGC creators is that you can use a slight variation and use them as video ads, or you can use them as Facebook ads, or you can put them on TikTok Shop. So you can make one video and use it in multiple ways, which means you're getting even more for your money. So next up, we've got the less sexy part, or in my opinion, the less sexy part of building a 10 out of 10 listing. And that is keywords and SEO. Now, this is pretty simple, right? But also very, very important. So let's start with keywords. So before you launch your product, you've got to have a list, right, of 20 to 30 of your most relevant top volume keywords. Now, that's what we call our master keyword list. So you need this, right, so that you can build out all of your PPC campaigns, but you also need it for your Amazon SEO. Now, Amazon SEO stands for search engine optimization, because Amazon is basically really just a big search engine. It's a search engine similar to what Google is or YouTube is. YouTube is a search engine for videos. Amazon is essentially a search engine for products. So a customer types in a keyword or a search term, and then an algorithm in the background, I love making that noise. An algorithm in the background, it sorts through millions of products to show the customer the most relevant keyword for their search term. For Amazon to understand when you first put your product on there, what your product is actually about, you need to make sure that you include your most relevant keywords in your listing, your title, your bullets, across the description, your A+ content. And the easiest way to do this is with a tool called Data Dive. So basically what you do is you feed Data Dive a list of your top 15 competitors. So this is the top 15 competitors in your niche. And then what it's going to do is it's going to spit out and give you a list, a master keyword list of your most relevant keywords. So from there, what you need to do is you need to order those keywords by importance. So the keywords that get the most searches per month and that are the most relevant to your product, they are the most important ones to you. And those are the ones that you need to have in your title, your bullets, and your description. What you don't want to do, right, is you don't just want to stuff them in absolutely everywhere and repeat them over and over and over so it sounds like ChatGPT wrote all of your copy. The best way to do this, in my experience, is with a tool called Scribbles, which is one of the sub-tools of Helium 10. So basically what you do is you write your listing, you include the keywords, and then when it sees that you've used that keyword, it'll tick it off so you know that it's been included. So don't obsess too much about keywords, right? Remember, the point of your title is to get customers to click on the product. So you do need to use the most relevant keywords early on in that title, because if I'm searching for a garlic press and then I see the keyword garlic press, probably going to kick on it. But just make sure, right, that you know when you understand your top 30 to 40 most relevant keywords. You don't have to use Data Dive for this, but in my experience, it makes it 1,000 times easier, and it's worth it. Even if you pay just for 1 month, it's worth it, you know, to save you all the time of doing this manually. And it's also really useful because from that master keyword list, that's what you're going to build out your PPC campaigns with. So at some point, you're going to have to do this anyway. So I recommend everybody uses a tool like Data Dive. And if you do want to use Data Dive, again, it's a tool that we use on a daily basis. We've got an affiliate link for it where you can save, I think you save 20%, but it's really worth it. It is an affiliate link. Check it out if you want. Don't if you don't. All right, so next up, we've got our A+ content, right? So this is basically the bottom part of your listing. It comes underneath your main listing images, then there's a set of adverts, and then you see the A+ content. So this is a big bit of real estate where you can add some extra photos and some extra videos. You can also stick some comparison charts in there, and you can add even more images. So again, right, this follows the same fundamentals as everything else. Keep it simple. Communicate one thing at a time with really clear copy, and make sure you couple your benefits with your features. And this is also a really good place, right, where you can add your brand's backstory, or you can tell the story of a customer that uses your product. So we've got a pet brand, right, and we actually have pictures of our customers with the pets and with the products, and then we tell their story. And I think it helps the customer really trust our brand is not just some random Chinese seller. You've got a lot of room to work with your A+, right? So make sure that you make it count. And again, to show you a couple of examples, I believe that companies like Zule Kitchen and Anchor, they do a great job overall of everything on their listings. So when you're doing your research, right, and when you're looking to build out your listings, go and look at some of the best brands and the biggest brands on Amazon. So you've got brands like Anchor. Look at how they do their A+ content, right? And this is the beauty of it, is you can have this sort of super wide, sort of non-interrupted, because there's no breaks, there's no, you know, lines where you have to have multiple images. And you can show so much stuff. You can put things like this in here, which is like these slideshow images, but you can see that it just looks incredible, right? And anybody can do this with A+ Premium. If you've got brand registry, you can do this. And obviously you would need a designer to help you out, but you can see how much trust this must build when, you know, it just looks so professional and so good. So you can have these huge sort of blocks of images like this with the image slideshows. You know, you can do these technical sort of charts if you've got a technical sort of electric product like this. Then you can do this comparison where if you've got multiple products, you can compare them and stuff. And then, yeah, another one, Zule Kitchen. Let's have a look at one of these. So all of these big brands that are really successful, you can just see how good their listing images are, right? So this is what I would really recommend everybody does, is to take the time to look at some of the biggest brands and really see how they do it. So when I was talking about the brand story, this is a fella called Aaron. So I actually follow Aaron on Twitter. He's got a picture of his family and his kids there because he wants people to understand the story of the brand, and that helps with trust. But then you can see, right, look at this A+ Premium. It's beautiful. It's so clear. It's so concise. Just looks super, super nice. When you look at this, you feel confident, right, that you're going to be able to trust in the product. Just looks great, yeah. So now that you know how to make 10 out of 10 amazing listings, go and watch this video that I did recently where I did 40 minutes of live product research, and you are going to become a product research machine. Peace.